All right, everyone. Welcome back to DAT. Here we are. Wanted to say thanks again for everybody tuning in online as well, interwebs. Hello, thank you so much for joining us. We're here with an amazing panel. We're about to get started. For those of you who are watching that are going to be in our other cities, this is the part you're going to really enjoy because we give away some amazing prizes all throughout the day's festivities. So I want to say thank you to our sponsors once again for making this all possible. Of course, Maxon, but Dell Technologies, Render, NVIDIA, Tool Farm couldn't be possible, and it wouldn't be as sweet if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors. So big round of applause for them. So big thank you for making that all possible. And we're going to start this off with another winner for today, and this one is for a MoGraph Unreal course by one, the only, Jonathan Winbush. And the winner is, here we go, get your tickets out, folks. Here it is, 1145. There he is, a winner. Congratulations, sir, 1145. You go see Winbush in the back, we'll get your email, and yeah, it will get you all squared away. So next up, we're moving into the collaborate portion of today's, sorry. Thank you.
You'll
collaborate
in the next city.
Yeah, all right. We'll collaborate in the next city. Now we're going from create to the connect part. Now we're going to be connecting with amazing artists. Some have flown all the way in from East Coast, all over. We've flown in West Coast. We have artists all over, and a whole lineup of amazing local artists, if you guys all don't know. But from here, I'll pass it over to Matt and Dave from MoGraph and the MoGraph podcast. Welcome.
Hello. You don't have to clap for us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another MoGraph MoCast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And this is DAT. We got a great panel for you today. Everybody's up here ready to go. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to save all the AI stuff for the end, because that's going to get crazy. I just wanted to remind everybody that there's more prizes at the after party between 5 and 7. It's going to be in the ballroom across the way here.
Over there
there's going to be food and drinks and things. And then the after party, unofficial. That's going to be at 8 o'clock at Ratio Beer Works. So
we're not paying for any of that.
Yeah, not any of DAT.
That's all on your own.
Any of DAT, you mean. All right, so before we get started with the panel, we are going to go down the line and do quick introductions with everybody. Feel free to share microphones and things. It's a lot easier than me trying to remember everybody's bio and what they do and all the things, because I'm very forgetful. So let's start with you, down
Sean.
here. Sean, we'll go all the way down.
Okay, let me see if I can test this thing out. Check. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming down. I'm Sean Astrom, Colorado native. Been using Cinema 4D for a super long time. I think over 15 years now. Just a little crazy to think. But yeah, freelance out of my own home office under SA Studios. And yeah, I had the fine fortune of working for Grayscale Gorilla for a short while, kind of making a lot of their materials, skies, some of their more recent stuff. But went back to freelance kind of just to kind of get back into that. Yeah, so that's about it from me.
Hello. My name is Luis Miranda. I'm a 3D artist from here.
Get closer. Get closer.
Closer? Okay.
There you go.
All right. My name is Luis Miranda. From here, from Denver. I do 3D art. I did kind of like started out doing sports graphics. I worked over at the Denver Broncos. I don't know, I feel like I've talked about that a lot. But now I kind of just do freelance for sports companies and teams. But on my personal side, I just do horror because I like spooky shit. Yeah, I just do freelance. I've been doing it for 7 years, which I think is the longest job I've ever had. So I think that's pretty fun.
Congratulations.
So that's it.
And feel free to pull the mics out if you want. You don't have to leave them in there. You can share.
Oh boy.
I'll share with you.
You're starting some chaos, Dave.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to avoid the whole time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey everyone, I'm Byron Stanford. With that name, I did grow up in Spain though, but now been in Denver for 6 years, where now I run a freelance studio called Not Just BS when I collaborate with other people, and now crazy AI enthusiast. So excited for that.
If you're interested, check out our last episode, episode 370 with Byron. Very good.
Hi, I'm Cameron Butterfield. I'm from Colorado Springs, and I am a 2D and 3D freelance artist, and I run my own studio, CB Graphics.
Hey, I'm Jen Van Horn. I actually moved to Denver 2 days ago, something like that. Thank you.
She moved here just for the panel.
I actually used to live in Denver. I went to Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design for animation back in 2007. Free've done a lot of things. I was explainer video animator for about 7-8 years, all freelance. About a year ago, I now work for Craftsman Plus, which is a really great company. We create ads for mobile and video games, which is kind of a dream of mine because I'm a gamer. And now I'm the creative lead for Microsoft Casual Games, so I'm a solitaire fangirl, so that makes me very happy. But also, I've been a TA for School of Motion. I teach a few classes on productivity and time management, which is why I'm here after 2 days of moving, because I'm really good at managing my time. And I think that's, I'm also a photo manipulator and digital artist on the side. So.
Hi, my name's Will Harvey, but I also go by Revelo. I'm a 3D artist and a motion designer. I do a lot of concert visual type stuff for like DJ Diesel or Shaq, Lil Nas X, a few of those guys. So, but I also do like everydays. I've been doing them for 5 years and counting. And I also work for Beeple Studios. So,
He's a handsome man.
Super slick cowboy hat.
Hi, I'm Scott Unruh. I'm pretty much a whore. If you pay me, I'll do it. Like, between 2D animation, 3D animation, editing, art,
3D
just
printing.
whatever. Yeah, 3D. I do a lot of 3D printing now. So yeah, I'm Denver native, and I work for. Well, right now I'm doing a bunch of stuff for Grand Ole Opry.
Nice.
I can't follow that up. My name is Brian Coleman. I'm a 3D artist, style frame artist, using Cinema 4D for, I don't know, maybe like 8-10 years. I've been doing a lot of motion design, maybe for like 15 years, something like that. I grew up in Ohio. That's kind of where I started all this. And then I moved to New York and was freelancing all around. Moved to LA. Was freelancing all over there too. And some of the studios I worked for, a lot of my work is like Apple, Territory, We Are Royale, The Mill. I worked with a lot of studios and have had a lot of opportunity to be around a lot of great artists.
Check.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Evenstar. I've been using C4D for a couple of years.
Yeah, 2-3 years.
Like 2-3 years. I started because of NFTs. Don't hate me.
Yeah, NFTs!
And I actually made some art that Paris Hilton bought, and then she flipped it on Sotheby's, which was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Since I was just a baby 3D artist at the time. And
Now you're doing
what else?
AI
No, I'm dabbling with some AI just for funsies, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
Released a dope AI collection, and now you're doing like.
Did I? Thank
Yeah.
you. Here, touch
I'll just take her. This is my wife. Yeah. I don't know what else. Yeah, now you're doing like watercolor, dope, physical shit, right?
I'm kind of a scatterbrain. I like to do all the things. So.
All the stuff and things. Yeah. What's up? I'm David Ariev. I'm been 3D artist for like 12 years, educator. I don't know, I've done a lot of concert visuals work, a lot of kind of cinematic style work. I've recently, over the past couple of years, gotten into a more abstract style of like peaceful, meditative, like spiritual type of work, and through NFTs. I've been big in NFTs for a couple years. I sold at Super Rare, Sotheby's, Maker's Place, Nifty Gateway, all of that. I've worked with Beeple. I made the two of the Beeple and Madonna NFTs, which is probably the weirdest fucking thing I've ever done in my life.
It was really weird.
I've exhibited my work at Beeple Studios, so is Chelsea here. We're like husband and wife duo. We make art together, and and I've recently gotten into VR work as well, which is like a very new and exciting medium for me to actually take my work into, pre-rendered visuals into VR, because it kind of takes my abstract work and kind of puts you in there. So anybody who wants to afterwards can come check that out, because I brought it along. Woo!
Right.
All right.
All right. I'm going to start this out, get this conversation going. How many students are here? All right.
All right.
It's good to know. Sometimes we're at colleges and things, and the ratio is a little bit different. One of the things that they don't teach you sometimes when you're in school are things like doing your taxes and business stuff.
We're doing another tax episode?
I know.
That was Dallas, dude.
How to promote yourself. We don't have to talk about the taxes, but the first thing I wanted to ask, and not everybody has to answer this question, but if you feel like you have a good answer, what is one thing that you wish you would have known before you started doing what you do?
Make templates of everything. Anything you can automate, do it now, especially if it's something you see a lot. Like in explainer videos, I've probably turned over 1 million calendar pages or had something pop up and stuff. So yeah, make it easier on yourself. There's a lot of ways to make things a lot smarter than, that's what I would say.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm terrible about that.
You don't need to go to college to make money in this industry.
Don't tell them. You can.
I'll say you don't suck. Like that's.
Oh,
everybody
thank goodness.
has their own.
I was so worried.
It was not
but you don't. I mean, I know that like the imposter syndrome prevents you from doing stuff, and just don't let it. Just do your thing, and it'll come around. It's you're gonna connect with somebody somehow with something you're doing. Just be yourself and put yourself out there. It sucks, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes you think you do suck, but you don't. You're fantastic in your own way.
Aw, yeah. And jumping off of that, like compete with yourself, not others. Like it's very easy to get in a rut, like looking at all the dope artwork that's on the internet, but you have to realize that that's the entire fucking world that you're looking at. Like, it's a global community at this point, and there's a lot of talented people out there, but, you're still probably a big fish in a small pond, all things considered, and you should just compete with your former self. Like, look back at your previous work from a year or however long ago, and as long as you're improving and you can see a measured improvement, just be happy and satisfied with yourself, Yeah.
Oh, these mic stands. I'll just say, running your own business, freelancing, just take the shortcut and hire a CPA. If you're going to talk a little bit about taxes and that stuff. I mean, we're artists, it's not our strong suit. So just hire a CPA, and the cost of paying them will greatly, save you loads in taxes and having to worry about any of that. So that's a little advice that I wish I had known.
How am I supposed to cheat on my taxes?
Right.
Legally.
Yeah, exactly. They tell you how.
Also hire a housekeeper.
If you can. On that note as well, I'll say if you're thinking of going freelance and you're just thinking, oh, I'm going to be a great artist and I'll just do the work that I like to do, you very quickly realize that it's not really about doing the work, and it's just about finding clients and talking to people, and that takes a bunch of time. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, on that note, build your soft skills. I get hired probably 99% because I'm easy to work with, not necessarily how good I am. I'm good. But, yeah, definitely. And don't feel bad if you need a side job to help build those skills, because I randomly did sales for 6 months, and that probably helped me as a freelancer more than anything else that I've done.
That's a good segue, actually, because I was going to ask for anyone who's interested in sharing maybe a handful of things that they do to build themselves as a brand, as a freelance artist. What do you do? The social medias? You get on TikTok? What do you do? What do you do?
That's about it,
I know
Dave,
Byron gets on TikTok.
I guess I'll jump in since I just started this last week. But
he's doing well. He's doing well.
But if you have a topic that you think you can give any information, helpful or not helpful sometimes about, then yeah, just talk about that. Get on TikTok. All the algorithms right now, I've done the research, so I'll just tell you, you need to post every day. Use 3 to 5 hashtags, no more. And yeah, as much as you can share, it pumps your stuff out. So if you are following me, probably you've seen my face a lot lately, because yeah, it's just about posting every day. And then Instagram
sounds terrible. I don't want to do that.
It's awful.
You batch them.
And it gives you no time to do the stuff that you want to do.
You should see his TikToks. He's so tired in them.
This is the 20th time I've done this.
One thing I would say that not a lot of people are doing, everybody's posting to Instagram, Twitter, but no one's using LinkedIn. And I would highly recommend that. And I noticed that I was getting more work when I was posting on LinkedIn. And I just started growing my connections, just like straight up maxing out the number that I can connect with. And you can only do like 150 a week or something. And I'm like, max out everybody. But I've gotten a lot of work through LinkedIn. And some of my posts get like 500 likes on there, and I'm not even close to that on any other platform. So I would say post a lot of work on LinkedIn, because those are the people who are looking to hire you, not Instagram and not Twitter.
Let me ask you, Brian, on that note, how much are you posting on LinkedIn? Because, I'll post my demo reel or some work or something, but like I'm not doing the everyday posting stuff on LinkedIn.
I try maybe once a week, maybe twice. I try to engage in other people's stuff as well. I mean, because there's a lot of really good work out there. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are putting demo reels out. But, just be honest, like give good feedback on people, start to gain that traction. But, you might post like once or twice a week and just kind of see where it goes. And I try not to throw it all out there at the same time, because again, I'm always sort of looking for the next project. So if you just kind of hit it once a week, twice a week, you're gonna get
future MoGrapher right there.
You're gonna get traction once or twice a week.
Also with LinkedIn, you don't have to be posting your own stuff. Repost stuff that you think is cool. And if you are posting, ask questions. That's going to get a lot more interactive. You're going to get a lot more likes. And
do you have to care about the responses?
No.
Okay.
You really don't. Also, if you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, actually ask them a question. Just don't send them a request. I pretty much don't respond unless someone asks me something interesting. So yeah, that's what I would.
Is that why you haven't been answering messages?
I'll chime in too. I don't think anything beats word of mouth and just meet and greets like this, and getting out and actually putting a face to a name, because you got to be careful too with what's on the web there. I had a 3D job offer come into my email recently from Square Enix, the makers of Final Fantasy, and if some of you don't know. And I kind of followed up with it a little bit, and it turned out to be a full-on scam. So, I think, this day and age, I think it's super important to find out who somebody is, and network that way. I think as a first primary method.
Okay. So, when it comes to TikTok and stuff, I think I could probably comment on that a little bit, because so on
so
both
TikTok
YouTube,
famous.
both on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok, since they're the same format. The thing that I have stumbled upon, it's not like I was super smart about this, but if you kind of do art that is appealing to a certain fandom or genre, and then you also, in addition to that, apply how to teach them how to do it, you actually kind of get people who like the art and also like the fandom, but also get the curiosity of how to make it. And so then they start kind of following, not only just for the art, but also for the tutorials that come along with it. And that seems to be a very, really good combination in both YouTube and TikTok, because it's a younger audience, and they tend to be the ones that like the fandom, which is Five Nights at Freddy's that I focus on. So it's like a younger crowd, and they all want to learn how to do like Blender and all those other things. And so when you kind of combine those two together, you're kind of tapping on two things, which is their fandom and also their curiosity on how to do these things. So,
how much work though do you get from like TikTok or Instagram or something by posting stuff?
It's interesting because it's not like those kids aren't like hiring me, you know, obviously.
Sure.
But it has gotten to like people, which I found really interesting. So I worked with this company called Crypt TV. They're on YouTube. They do horror, and they found me because of those videos where I was like just posting these things, and they saw that there was like a lot of people responding to it, and so in a roundabout way, kind of, it's a good way of doing it. But I also kind of just got like hyper fixated on trying to hit that 100K follow thing.
I noticed. Yeah.
I was like, I just want to hit that and then call it good. But yeah. Anyways.
You on YouTube, you're trying to go for the 100K, or on TikTok?
Both.
Oh, both. You gotta get that gold record or whatever they send you.
On YouTube, I'm at 83K right now, and on TikTok, I'm at 90 something. So.
What's the most likes you've had on a TikTok video?
2.2 million.
What?
God damn.
That's solid, dude.
And
So,
I was going to say too, with that, I know like probably you don't get a lot of people that come directly to you from TikTok like that, but when you're talking to other people, it's nice to say, oh, by the way, I have this.
Yeah, and like people know that video, and when they like see it, they're like, oh, you're the one that made that, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's weird when people know you more for something you created than you yourself. Yeah.
I wouldn't know that feeling.
And what's that? What'd you say?
I said I wouldn't know that feeling.
Oh,
don't pity me.
Matt. Wah, wah, wah.
Everybody go subscribe to his TikTok. He doesn't have. You need a TikTok. I keep telling you.
I'm not gonna do it.
Kind of jumping off of that.
Give it a few months.
Kind of jumping off of that, I think it's like becoming more and more important to post like process breakdowns, just because, especially with the rise of AI, trigger word, no. You know, it's like just so hard to tell what people have done. I mean, especially with stills, like a lot of people do still renders, and then it's like, is that AI? Is it 3D? I don't know. So the process breakdown is really like what shows what you've done, you know. And same thing goes with even like, you know, demo reels. It's like, what part of that shot did you do? You know, what you know, are you modeling things or are you kit bashing? Like, people need to, you know, your clients need to understand your capabilities, and the more kind of process breakdowns you can do, the better off I think you'll be in showing, you know, what you're capable of.
Can't do that with AI. You can show a breakdown and you just go to the process video and you wipe to like typing a prompt.
There you go. That's your next TikTok. That would be hilarious.
There you go.
Yeah. Jumping off of what David said, and this is something I've heard a lot for those who are doing demo reels. Only put stuff in your demo reel of work that you want to do. You know, if you have a bunch of explainer videos in your demo reel and you hate explainer videos and you're wondering why you keep getting explainer video jobs, that's a good indication why.
Why can't I get a title sequence job? Oh, it's because you have all explainer videos.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a catch-22, because if nobody hires you to make a title sequence, then what do you do? So you have to kind of go outside of your usual work and actually do a passion project or some kind of spec project to show that you can do this thing before you actually get hired to do it.
Right.
Yeah, do the work that you want to do, like post what you want to do. I mean, it's off the same thing of the demo reel. Like the reason I did concert visuals was because I posted free VJ loops for people to use. That's how I then got these clients to come to me, and they wanted me to do more shit for them. So it's like.
And speaking of which, you do one every single day.
Yeah.
What day are you on?
Fuck knows. I don't know. It's at this point I'm just like
over 9,000.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started losing track. I mean, it's probably like I think it's at 5 years now. But like, yeah.
2000. Did you start on my birthday, like people did?
Yeah. So
sure.
Do you ever feel discouraged?
Oh, you don't count them?
You
don't count
you
the
don't put a number on
your
it?
Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh,
Stop.
Lame.
I was just like, this is stupid. Just fucking put the name and call it a day.
Do you ever feel burnt out though? Like, oh man, gotta do another one today.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, just do it. There are gonna be days when you feel like it's not. Yeah, dude. Literally.
Yeah.
Like
you phoned him in a couple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's definitely phone-ins. Like I'll get a sticky note or like a receipt on the back of whatever, and I'll just draw on it just for that day because I know it's like 11:55. I didn't have my computer. I'm out with these goobers and like yeah, in Vegas. It's like we're on the strip. I'm like, fuck, where's Cinema 4D? I don't have it. You know?
In your pocket.
Yeah. So like, okay, we're taking a picture. Like, just call it a day. You know, and there are going to be days like that. Like you live life. There's shit that's going to happen. Like you're not. Nothing's ever perfect. You can't plan for the worst always, but you can try. I brought my computer here just in case. You know.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that today.
Get to work, boy.
Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah,
my 100 slide PowerPoint that I needed to do. Yeah.
We told him he needed to prepare a 100 slide PowerPoint just to mess with him.
Whoops.
I've got 50, so
there you go.
Nice.
And that takes a lot of discipline, for sure.
How do you keep from getting burned out, man? Because
Exactly.
I'm just doing regular client shit, and I'm already burned out.
And how do you stay motivated in general? How does everybody stay motivated?
Hobbies.
You know?
Yes.
Like, I've talked to so a couple weeks ago I had a Discord hang, and I went through the room, and I was like, what kind of things other than 3D do you guys like to do? And everyone was like,
what?
Video games. 3D is my life. 3D's, it's like it can get really, I think, mentally unhealthy. There's so many artists that just get so obsessed with their work, and it's like that is how you get good, but it's not mentally healthy. Like you need to like branch out to more things. Like it's just the work-life balance. It's really important for not getting burned out.
Yeah, get out of your chair.
Yeah.
Get out of the chair. Go outside. Touch grass. Pet horses.
Money helps me stay motivated. True. That gets the job done right there.
But money though.
I guess on that though, I mean, I actually try to get my work done as quickly as possible because I got 2 kids and a wife, and so what maybe used to take me like 9 hours or something like that, I bust out in like 4. Like I don't stop. I'm just like get it done as quickly as possible. Then I can go chill with my kids who are really the motivation. And my son got like a little Hot Wheels track that just goes on, and he's like 2, and I'm like, this is freaking life right here. So that's my motivation.
Well, I think it's really hard too because our job in a lot of ways is our hobby. So like if you're an accountant, you don't go and account on your hobby. Like, and so for me, like that's why I picked up 3D printing was because I could still be in the realm of what I'm doing, but I can also have a nice little offshoot, so I don't feel like I'm so disconnected from the hobby, from the work. So
I mess with music on the side just for fun. I'm not good at it. Rev, I know you do it. Who else does music stuff?
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
Hobbies for sure. I was gonna say, I mean, that's a great point, Scott, because like it is, when I have downtime, I'm like, oh, I want to go mess around with this software that I've hardly touched, and I know it's really cool. Yeah. So for me, like recently, that was like Plasticity, which is a new CAD software that this like single developer has been working on, and it's incredible. So I've been spending some free time learning that, but then just stepping away. For me, I like to do stuff around the house, like fix doorknobs and install air conditioners. Things like that.
Every doorknob in his house has been replaced at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh, don't even ask my wife about it.
And also, even better, if you can get a hobby that also lends to your mental health and physical health, even better. Like I love cooking and gardening. I'm still working on the exercise part of it, but
I'm right there with you.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that would, anything you could double up on, why not?
You're gonna start hiking now that you live here.
No, I used to live there.
All right, fine. You're not invited.
Yeah, exercise is probably the biggest one. Like Wimbush, wherever you're at. Workout videos, like
what up?
He's in the gym right now. He's fucking doing curls. He's just repping them out
with EJ.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But like working out, that's probably the best thing you could do. You're sitting in a chair all day. You're sedentary all the time. Get out there, work out. Do something that's like that you could shut your brain off with. Stretch is good. Yoga. Yes.
Also, if you're a freelancer, the beautiful thing is that in theory you can take like a week or a month off, or just like yeah, just completely.
In theory.
In theory. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're single with no kids or whatever.
Right.
But yeah.
Looking at you, Byron.
Right?
I like running because I can just go out the front door and it's free, you know. And any time of day doing freelance, you know, you can pick a time. You know, sometimes we'll go out and run at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because that's the best time for it, you know, especially winter time. But it's free and you can go just turn your brain off. I've said this last week, but I like to think about things that I have to do because it's the only thing I can do while I'm running. So then I can just concentrate on that and come back and have a game plan.
I bought a home gym, and I have yet to actually set it up. It's been sitting downstairs in like 4 different boxes for like 6 weeks now.
What's a guide?
So I like to do crafting. That's like my stuff to do outside of 3D because I hate, you know, being in front of the computer and like the screen, like the blue. So I'll do stuff like this jacket, but I also got really into like interior design, and so I designed my room to look like it belongs to a goth girl. And so I put like this canopy bed.
Come decorate my room.
And put a bunch of like purple lights and stuff in there, and it's like a bunch of squishmallows. And it was very therapeutic to be able to do that because it was like an application of all the art that I've learned from doing 3D, but applying it to a real life sort of thing, where it's like you're taking into account the space, you're also taking into account like form and shape, and then putting it into a thing that you get to experience around you. I don't know. It was really nice. I would recommend.
I agree with you.
If you're going to freelance, scheduling your vacations, you got to put them on the calendar.
Yeah.
Because it's when you're working for a company, you know, you got PTO. Oh, I got 2 weeks I got to use out of the year. When you're freelance, it's so hard to turn it off. And so I'm going on vacation next week for the first time in like 4 years. So, yeah.
Cameron was covering for me while I was in Denver, and next week I'm covering for him while he's out of town. So we got a game plan.
Can I ask y'all this? How do you stay motivated to do anything? Like, because like, honestly, like, and maybe this, what?
We need to talk.
I'm doing okay. It's all right. It's all right. No, I'm just like, how do y'all stay motivated? So like, for example, I'll give y'all an example. I had a really hard time cleaning my house. My house was so messy for like, since we got back from NAB.
Hire a housekeeper.
Right? Yeah, I know. Okay,
he tried that.
For if you're poor and you can't afford a housekeeper, right? The thing is, I had just the hardest time. I was like, it's in my mind. I've got to go clean my house. I don't have any work going on. I could very easily go downstairs out of my office and go clean my house. It's like, how do y'all stay motivated, you know, when it comes to like jobs or anything outside of work?
You're going to want to gamify your productivity or your to-do schedule. So there's so many ways you can actually do that. I color code everything. Anything that I finish is green, so it makes me happy. And then the more green I see, the more motivated I am to finish my list. Also, being able to prioritize what you can do today versus what you can push to tomorrow. That's always helpful. And reward yourself when you do something.
I mean, but I do reward myself all the time without actually doing the things.
Okay, well.
So you have to clean one room before you can have your Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Every room would be clean by the end of the day.
See?
Well, there you go.
It's gamified.
Yeah, it's gamified.
An object in motion stays in motion. So
True.
Pick some easy things to do and get going, and then you'll find yourself all over your house.
I have found that if in the morning, once I'm ready to go to work, if I don't go up to my office, it's like the second I hit my office, I'm in work mode. Like, I can't think about anything else after that.
He's got to wear shoes.
So if I don't go, well, yeah, I wear shoes all the time. If I don't go upstairs to my office, I can motivate myself a little bit more because when I'm in my office, I just turn on work mode. Even if I'm not working.
I also work a lot with sensory memory because I think I'm neurodivergent, so I have a hard time switching between tasks. So I started diffusing a lot of different essential oils depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm working, I have this specific combo that I only diffuse when I'm working. And you can apply it to a bunch of other stuff. Textural moments, like I used to work out of my living room, so I couldn't physically block my space off. I had to say like, okay, the only things I'm listening to or eating or doing is only behind this partition that I'm working at. So being able to block out your space with more than just physical things helps me a lot to stay motivated. Also, Chris was just saying too.
Sounds like a lot more work.
Yeah.
It is. It really is because it's actually what.
So
Chris
how
was,
do you get motivated to do all that so that you can be motivated for the rest?
Well, like anything, it's more work on the front end so you can enjoy the back end.
Right.
Well, I think if you set a goal for yourself, that's probably the best thing you can do. Like if you can see what it's going to be, you'll then be motivated to do that task. Like, I mean, if I'm doing personal work, like let's say like a short film or something, I see what it is, I know what it is, it seems cool, I want to like get to that point. Like now I just got to go through the bullshit to then get to that point. And it sucks.
It's getting through the bullshit.
It's getting through the bullshit, that's the thing. But by the end of it, you're then satisfied with what you just did, or you're just like, man, I just did that. I just shit that out. That's like, you know.
But hey,
you know,
the only way out is
so
through.
Eloquent, Rev.
But look, it's the truth.
Right.
It's like using the restroom. You gotta, you know, push it out, and then boom, you got yourself a nice
Good night, everybody.
like,
They're
a little harsh, but
they're just tasks that you're not going to enjoy. I don't like doing the dishes. I don't like cleaning, but I try not to do them. So,
there might be a way to hack your brain to enjoy those things more, like to appreciate like every little moment of life. You know, like just like those things
Are we
can
talking
be like
about mushrooms again?
No.
I was going to say, is it drugs?
No, I'm just saying like that. That mundane tasks. Mundane tasks can be really enjoyable if you're in the right headspace. So
Put on a podcast.
I think this is kind of a mental health thing in a lot of ways. I don't know.
plug the podcast.
Yeah, listen to our show while you do the dishes.
Right.
Yeah, I would say clean first before you do anything else, and then you're golden.
See, I do find when I go up to my office, like if my kid's been in there and just has made it a total mess, I always clean up my office. Like I never have a problem cleaning my office. It's every other room in my house.
But that's where you get into your problem too, is because of the kids. Like it's always
so get rid of the kids.
A distraction.
Gotcha.
Always
but
because of the
there's
kids.
always a distraction, and if you're never hitting that state of flow, whether it's creating something, whether it's cleaning, whether it's doing something, you have to get into that deeper part of it. That's why, like, you know, yeah, and being able to control the distractions gets you in that state of flow better. And I think that state of flow is everything to us. That's why After Effects crashes suck so bad.
Yeah.
Because it does ruin the momentum.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick on After Effects. But so when I do it, I like try to like, I figure out my time block. I've got an hour. Before I even start my hour, phone goes away, this goes away, kids are taken care of, I've got an hour. I stop, take a beat, make a promise to myself. I will not be distracted. I will not do this. I will finish this task or as much as I can in this given time. Set a timer, and then you can, when the timer goes off, you can go screw around. You can hop on Facebook.
Y'all are not ADD enough.
Yeah.
I need some better.
But that's where you have to like
ideas.
literally block everything out. You have to plan for the distractions.
Chelsea, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say like bite size, like you've got a big house,
Yes.
and you've got little munchkins that are running around destroying everything all day long while you're trying to work, and like if you walk through a room and there's something, just pick it up. Just pick up one thing. Like if you do that all day, you know, every time you're cruising through the house and you just pick one thing up, they're gonna throw something else down the second you walk away. But you picked something up and you're getting yourself in the habit. So I don't know. I rely on my housekeeper though a lot, like a lot. Like she's my literally mental health for me, because I kind of do have ADD and I get super overwhelmed when things are like visually chaotic for me. I love it when it's super clean. I don't know how to be that person who makes it clean unless Rev shows up.
Right.
Unannounced. And then I'm like, fuck, I gotta clean the house.
The house is fucking
See,
our
my
house
problem with
company.
I had a housekeeper for a little bit, and then I would get too panicked about making my house clean enough to where she didn't judge me, you know, when she was coming to clean it.
Our housekeeper fully judges the shit out of us. She comes in, she's like, oh, Chelsea.
You buy too many things.
She's she gives
There
me
you
so
go.
much shit, but she keeps me in line, you know, like. I don't know. She helps. She's my mental health.
So come be like, why is your shirt so short? Like, it's like
Because you shrunk it, Magda.
verbally shaming us.
All day long. She's the best.
Sean, what were you going to say?
Well, you mentioned staying motivated, and I just got to say, like, before I started before I realized I could make money making art, like I was notorious for having like lots of jobs. Like I had probably 50 jobs like before I got into doing music and art professionally. And I think you got to kind of remind yourself of that. Like, you know, we live in a pretty fortunate time that we can, you know, make digital art, get paid for it, you know, and do something we love day in, day out. And so for me, that's a huge aspect of why I do what I do.
Yeah, even 10 years ago, it was completely different. Like, because the computers and stuff weren't readily available, and the render power especially was not readily available, you know, to be able to work from home.
Used to have a lot more time to surf Reddit though when you're rendering.
Yeah.
That was like the one good thing that came out of COVID was the world learned that we could all work from home. And
that is true.
Nothing
Right.
would crash.
Yeah.
And now thanks to Render, I don't get to surf Reddit anymore, you know, or TikTok.
I still render everything locally for the most part. I mean, I love Render, but
it's because you're crazy, boy.
Yeah. I know that's the nice thing about rendering locally is that you get to step the fuck away for several hours. You're like, well, everything's grinding and computers are working for me. You know, let's go out to nature.
One of the things that I like to do as far as staying focused, because I'm totally ADD as well, is I have a timer on my desk and I set it to either 20 minutes and I restart the timer if I'm still in a good flow. Or if I'm doing like a long creative thing, I'll do 45 minutes. One of the things I do as well, if I'm really having trouble getting started on a project, is, you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night and you're like, I could go back to my desk. I could. But I'm really also tired, and I'd also like to just wind down and, you know, watch Succession. So what I do is I will have a project that's just, I'm procrastinating. I don't want to set it up. I know I got to go through emails and, you know, open my project and kind of get the settings right and do all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a slow build up when you work on something, right? Like until you get to that flow state. So I try and do some of that ahead of time. And what I'll do is, if I don't really want to work at night, I'll sit down anyway for a certain amount of time. Maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I won't. But whatever I do, I leave it open. I get everything good. I hit save. I leave all the programs open at a good point, and then I just leave the room. And then the next day, I get my coffee, and I sit down, and everything's open, and I can continue. And it's kind of nice.
I was going to say, too, speaking of flow state, know when your productive time of day is really helpful. And if you don't know, start journaling, like your whole day. Like, when do you feel the most energized? What are you eating that's lending to your energy or your crashes? Because that stuff's very important. And your health is literally the first thing that just goes out the window when you start working, especially if a lot of us are ADD, then we hyper-focus a little too much. And I have recently hyper-focused to the point where I no longer have hunger cues. So I have to set alarms every 2 hours to remind myself to eat and drink water. So that stuff does go away. So be careful how you...
and it sucks when your flow state's at midnight.
Yeah.
That too.
That's interesting because that you bring that up. I've never thought about it that way, because almost like the morning, like from 8 until probably 11, you know, that is my most productive time. And a lot of my clients that I've been working with lately are on the West Coast. So it's like I get a shit ton done before they're even up at their office, which is awesome.
I wanted to shift to a couple other things because, you know, we got to hit that 4:30.
There's a
AI
question.
talk.
You got a question? Yeah, let's hear it.
John down there.
So the question is about confidence in a project. Now, are you talking about a personal project or?
You just fake it.
Yeah.
It's kind of true. You do just kind of fake it. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fake it till you make it thing.
Take, for example, being on microphone or being on camera or something. Like, a lot of us who went to college for like video or something, there was so many people who were like, oh, I don't want to be on camera, no, you know. And you just you just get up there, you do it, and then you realize it's not so bad, you know, and that can be applied to almost anything,
Right.
You know, this job sucks. All right, well, I'm just gonna power through it and fake it and tell the client that I loved working on this project. Please send me another one.
Yeah,
you're
not gonna die. Your imposter syndrome is just a switch in your head that's telling you you're doing something different. Doesn't mean you're bad at it. It just means you haven't done it before. So having a core group of people that you can network with. That I started an accountability group where if I'm feeling the least bit of doubt, I go to my group. I'm like, oh my god, like I don't think I could do this, and they're all like, you can do it. And they're my personal cheerleaders, and we all kind of hit it at different times. So, you know. This community is so open and welcoming. All you have to do is ask, but ask. Don't just send LinkedIn requests, please.
It's hard to know it's hard to have confidence if you are having a hard time judging your own work.
Yeah.
Which I always say, I have a hard time judging my own work. I can look at someone else's, no problem, be like, oh, that's awesome. But like, I can't see it. I'm blind to my own thing. So
same. I think all my work is awesome, and then I show people, and they're just like, I don't know about that.
Something really important to remember as artists is that, like, y'all are in a very small percentage of humanity. Like, there's not a lot of artists in the world. It seems like there is because we're online and we're seeing everyone's art, that's in the community. But if you zoom out, you're just in this really, really small group, and like everyone else in the world thinks what you do is super dope because they can't do it. They can't do what you do. So you have to kind of remember that and stop comparing yourself to someone who's like got more experience than you or has been doing this longer or whatever. It's not a matter of they have more talent than you. It's they probably just have more experience than you. They've just been practicing longer than you. So just keep practicing, keep going, keep doing it, and remember that most of the world, 99.999% of the world, is not an artist. And so they're just like, holy shit, that's amazing. Whatever you do, like your worst thing is like super cool to them. So,
when in doubt, show your mom, because she'll think it's great.
I was gonna say I mostly think my work sucks like all the time, but I keep my clients happy, I guess. But I never think it's that great. But I have a few people that I reach out to and show my stuff to just to kind of get honest feedback. I have one friend who I know that if I send it to him, he's going to be real honest. And if it sucks, he's going to tell me that it sucks. And it's a little bit of motivation for me to keep going, to kind of keep pushing it. But he's also, he also gives ideas and good feedback to me. But he's like super harsh. But then if I want to, feel good about myself, I send it to someone else who I know will be really nice to me. So it's like, it's the balance,
I also think just repetition, like confidence comes over many years of all the jobs that we take on as artists, they're so different from one another, right? And one day you could be doing Sims and creating a volcano, the next day you could be creating something abstract. You're always, but the thing that's constant is problem solving and the process that you develop over time with your work. For instance, I just did a bunch of work for Law & Order SVU where I had to do explosions and a bunch of C4D pyro, and I'd never done any of that shit before. And they're like, have you done pyro before? Have you done this before? I'm like, no, but I'll figure it out. That was my version of confidence, and I did. And it's like at some point you start to trust yourself that you can figure anything out, that you know where to go online for the resources to do whatever the hell it is you need to do. We can't retain all the information in the world as a repository in our own brain. That's why we reach out to the internet. That's why we have this community, because we all teach each other. We come up, when we're all little inventors. We come up with our own processes, and then we teach each other. And then so we either rely on our own processes and our own tinkering, or we rely on looking up tutorials and finding other people's processes.
100%. Jumping off of that, one of my favorite things to do is, I'll watch tutorials when I'm in bed at night, which is super lame, but I'll throw on an EJ tutorial or something, or I'll see one that looks kind of cool, and it's like, okay, so I'll go through that and I just log it as far as, where the location is. So if a client ever says, hey, can you do this? I'll be like, no, but I know where the resources are to teach me how to do that.
When someone asks you,
yes, I know how to do that, and then I just go back to that resource.
When someone asks you if you can do something, you say yes. And if you can't, you hire a friend.
Right.
Also, John, if I kind of understood correctly, it sounds a little bit like most of us, you're suffering a little bit from perfectionism. where sometimes you just have to say, hey, I've spent way too many hours on this. It's just diminishing returns from now on. I just need to ship it. And
call it.
Yeah. Of course, share with your friends, talk to people if you can, but also sometimes just give yourself a break and call it done.
Yeah.
There's good and there's good enough.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a little saying called "done is better than perfect."
Yes.
Yep.
That is for all you perfectionists out there. Just get it done, because otherwise.
Oh, so, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. I was just going to say, if you. Oh, go ahead.
Some of you guys have mentioned that you're interested, you're moving into or starting to use AI. My question is, what
Are we jumping into AI already?
Are we in AI yet? What's your question? And we'll hold it for 5 minutes from now.
what thoughts, concerns, or strategies do you think you would have for using
Moving forward with AI.
Let's do it. All right,
We're
let's
gonna
jump
start
into it.
with
We got
that.
some time.
Yeah, let's
we got
jump
like
into it.
half an hour or something.
Sure.
All right.
We're going to start with AI, and the first thing that happens when you ask people, this applies to NFTs or AI, you bring it up, and you either get, I love this, or I hate this.
I don't know.
People are leaving already.
I feel ambivalent about both. Like I think they're good and bad, pros and cons of both. So I don't know. I think there are more balanced responses out there than all of this polarization over
I, for one,
these
welcome
new
our
technologies.
AI overlords.
They're just these are just disruptive technologies, and we need to learn to live with them because you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Right. Exactly. And it's also mixed. I have mixed feelings when it comes to, where AI art is getting its motivation from, its inspiration from, of course. But to answer your question, are you're asking about how we plan as far as our careers and career path? Is that right with AI?
Boy, everyone's leaving. We start talking about AI. Everyone gets up and just starts leaving. Oh, see? 2 more. We just lost.
maybe it applies to just any change in technology. It doesn't necessarily mean
Keeping up with the technology. That's right. So in AI, you got to keep up. One of the things is trying stuff, and I think Byron, you could probably talk about that. Trying things to see how it would fit in your workflow if it's AI.
Yeah, when it comes to AI or anything else, like I think when Unreal started doing real-time rendering, 4K and everything, everybody was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing!" And that changes everything and replaces a lot of past technology. This is the same way. It's there's definitely a lot of applications that you can have with it. There are going to be a ton of ethic issues or non-issues that you could raise, but when it comes to it, just playing around with it, trying it, and saying, does this actually help me? Does this bring up something new for my workflow, or is it just getting in the way? Because sometimes it will also be that. Sometimes you're overcomplicating a certain aspect of your work just because you want to fit a tool in there.
I'm all in for AI. I'm down. I love it. I use ChatGPT every day. For simple things.
Sorry, I just had this thought. Hey, ChatGPT, how you doing?
I actually have a story about that. I have a story about that, but I'm going to save that one for the end. All right. But I was going to say I use ChatGPT to do things like help me stay organized in my day. So I kind of tell it a few things I need to do, and then it lays out a list, and I'm like, it's not quite what I want. Can you rewrite it in this way? So I use it for that, but I also use it to help me write emails. Because I had a problem recently with a company that if you ask me privately, I'll tell you who it is. They had booked me for 3 months. We had signed a contract. And after 2 weeks, they reached out to me asking me if they could cancel the booking. By that point, I'd already turned down a bunch of bookings that were also the same length of time. So I used ChatGPT to help me understand the contract that we signed, which was from them. So I threw the whole thing in, had it read the entire thing. It gave me the bullet points, and then I focused in on one aspect of the contract that basically said something to the effect of if either party cancels the contract, just have to do it in writing, but you're still on for 30 more days, basically. So I said, I read this from ChatGPT. This is the information that I got out of your contract. I'm happy to keep working for 30 days, but you still have to pay me. So they paid me and didn't use me once. But I use ChatGPT to do that. But I use AI for all these other things too. I'm constantly looking at how it can help me get faster. How can it help me come up with ideas? And then I'm going to finish on what I said I was going to finish on. I read an article yesterday that said some influencer, she used ChatGPT and she wrote something out using it to create an AI version of herself. And if you guys remember the movie Her, it's like a little AI version of someone. And this person is now, you can pay $1 per hour to talk to her, a version of her AI self. And so she's like monetizing it, and I'm like, how do you monetize it? Because it's gonna keep going. Don't be afraid of it. I know everybody else probably has other answers, but she's monetizing it and doing it in a really weird way. But it's definitely gonna take over.
I was going to say, I haven't really started using it, but I can see where I can use it. Like I said, when you can be building your own templates or automating anything you can do, like I work in advertising, so figuring out the copyright and the messaging for different audiences, ChatGPT, like we write the first thing and then run it through, and they could, pick out different people that would respond to, certain things. That's fantastic. Iterations, variations of projects too. Even if you're not using the stuff that they're creating, it's just giving you the idea, because maybe you're just stuck and you can't think of 3 ways to do the same thing. Well, they can do it for you, and then that just kind of pushes you in that direction. So I think it's great for that.
Yeah, something else to add there. I think, of course, we have ChatGPT and a bunch of text-based, but you also have a lot of image-based stuff. So I just feel like that blank page syndrome, which I'm sure that we're all familiar with, doesn't really have to exist anymore. Like if you have even just a concept, you can throw it in and start iterating over and over until you're finally like, oh, look, I like that setup, I like that lighting, and that might help you jump off to something else.
Yeah, going off of that, I like to use Midjourney as my personal concept artist. So I'll tell it like what idea I want to start working on, and then it'll shoot out a bunch of things. I'll kind of tell it which one I liked, whatever. Then the look, or I guess, or vibe that I'm going for, once it gets achieved, that's I'll kind of just put it on my screen. So instead of like using Pinterest, I'll just use Midjourney. And
it's much more curated.
Yeah, it's more
what you're
curated.
looking for.
And nobody else has that same reference. So it can help me be more unique, I guess. But the other thing that I started using it for, which I thought was really cool, I was trying to learn how to do like biomechanical, like you guys know what Alien, the movie, like that sort of aesthetic. So I just told it to give me a bunch of like tileable textures that are in that style. And then I took those images and I put them into a Substance sampler, which also is AI, and then it created a bunch of textures for me. And so then I was able to just like do all of that like aesthetic development by just telling the AI to do it, and then another AI to give me like functional textures. Yeah. And it worked out really great.
I'm really excited about, so Otoy's been working on adding in a stable diffusion node inside of Octane. So like being able to say, give me a tileable texture of like snake skin or something, along with its normals, and just being able to like iterate and just pump that right in is absolutely incredible.
And this already exists in the software that shall not be named, I guess.
So yeah, I'll just chime in here. I'm very much on the fence, because I think we have to be very careful in that, at the rate that these tools are advancing, our clients and folks who are providing us jobs as artists, once they see, that they can also tap into these tools and generate stuff, I think it's going to be a tricky situation, because I think I've already seen it too, where companies, maybe when it comes to style frames or look development, are like generating their own internal artwork based off stuff you can just pull up in Midjourney or have Midjourney generate, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, maybe we can just skip that step because we already have something that's close to what we want. So I saw Google's conference yesterday. They, I think, are taking a really cool step in that apparently, supposedly, everything that they generate moving forward is going to have some sort of metadata or watermark embedded into it. I don't know if that's going to be how that works. They even made a comment about even if an image is, resaved from another application or obviously we all know you can take a screenshot of something and then all of a sudden it's a new file, but supposedly somehow this watermark would stay with the data generated, and I think it's going to be important to be able to know like where this stuff is coming from, so that it can be tracked back to the original source. So yeah, I have mixed feelings. I mean, I see the benefits of like how I can use it as an artist. Like hell yeah, I can generate freaking 1,000 images, throw them up, on Pure Ref, and all of a sudden I have wonderful reference for what I'm working on. But I do think it's a slippery slope when all of a sudden your clients can just do that and they're like, oh, we don't need you anymore. So yeah.
But I guess with that though, I mean, and I hear what you're saying because I'm on the fence a little bit too about that, but I think why not be the person who's generating the images, because there's always going to be a line of people who are making decisions, and none of them are going to be the ones who use Midjourney to generate the stuff. So why not be the person who is generating it, or the person who can monetize AI?
Let me say this. So back when I was in college, and I was in video production, and then iPhones came out, or, and they started shooting really good quality video, all the videographers were worried that, the iPhone was going to take our jobs. Like, why are companies going to use us anymore when we can just shoot our own video on our iPhone? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a video that is actually shot by a company on an iPhone? It is shit. It is terrible. But you still have lots of companies out there who are willing to pay the premium because they know the quality of work is going to be fantastic. So I'm not worried about people who are using AI art in lieu of, actual 3D animated stuff, because it's like people who pirate software. They're never going to pay for your software anyway, So they were never intending on paying a professional our rates in order to do that work for them. They're just looking for an easy way out. Yes, the quality is starting to look better, which is fine, but they were never going to come to you anyway. You want to go after some of the bigger fish that are going to pay you for what you're worth.
I guess the fear is what happens when AIs are able to create 3D motion design content that looks as good or better than what we're already doing. And then the answer is, oh, well, we're going to be the ones to prompt the software because we understand motion and keyframes and camera movement and lighting and all of these things that we've studied for a decade or longer. But then the bigger, scarier question of that is what happens when the AI, which is able to learn extremely fast, is trained on what the best camera moves and what all the cinematic techniques and stuff are, and is able to do that faster than a human, and the AI is actually better at prompting itself than a human, so we're kind of locked out of the system.
Then we have
entirely.
a new renaissance, and we fuck shit up.
Right.
We make it to where, yeah, that's the same type of thing that AI does all the time, but look at this person. This person is new. Look at the shit they're doing. Oh, they're shooting stuff upside down. That's awesome,
Well, this is our Napster moment.
You have to have new art to feed the AI, or it's all going to be the same thing.
The iPhone analogy is good, but I think you can still see the difference between iPhone footage and footage from like a red $80,000 camera.
Yeah, that MP4 though.
But when it's indistinguishable from the professional work is indistinguishable from the AI generated work. That's so I'm thinking that's the point in which we're going to be like, okay, well, what do we do now? So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that.
No, that's pretty much.
I come from like several different artistic communities: the writing world, the photography world, and this 3D world and like NFT universe, which is just a whole bunch of weirdness. And so I've seen people using AI over the past few months in all of these different areas. So like writer friends of mine are using AI like Midjourney to create book covers that they used to have to pay a lot of money for. To create these really cool book covers for their books. They're also, like, when you're a writer and you're writing a novel, it's really hard to do the blurbs. It's a different type of writing to make, like, a really compelling blurb for the back of your book. ChatGPT is fucking awesome at that. It's so good at it. So you can combine those things. There's also people who are training ChatGPT to write prompts for Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or whatever, and coming up with some really cool stuff. In my photography world, there's I come from this kind of really niche photography universe where people were doing these beautiful, like fairy tale kind of really high production makeup, big crazy costumes, fairy tale kind of like portraits. And there's a few people in there that have started dabbling with AI, creating, like still photographing the model and lighting them really beautifully, and then they're able to tell, you know, Midjourney or whatever, where the light source is coming from, and creating these like super magical backgrounds and then photo bashing them together in these ways that AI can't do. So the human element with AI, I think, is always going to keep things interesting, because I look at AI art all day. Like on my Twitter feed, all I see is freaking just pure AI. People just do a prompt, put something out, it looks amazing, whatever, but you can tell it's AI, you can tell. And it looks cool, it's like, yeah, that looks cool, but it's kind of soulless. There's like something lacking soul. Where when you see someone who partnered with the AI and they added like at least 50% of their own artistry or their own vision to the piece, it becomes really magical. It's like, oh, this is what is possible.
Well, and I just
AI.
got to say that circles back to the like watermarking. Like, so if you know an image is AI, then at least you know it, you know, so you can be like, oh, I can tell that this is AI because it says so right there. You know, so then you'll be able to know like, oh, this is actual art that someone created. You know,
and going back to what David said earlier, like showing the process behind what you do as an artist becomes kind of important. Like I started doing some stuff just playing around with AI because I just do. I have like my little Midjourney feed is so weird because I tried a million different things on there. But one of the things I've recently been doing is creating, like giving a prompt for line drawings, just these line drawings. I'm not very good at drawing like I could be if I spent, you know, the next 20 years like trying to draw humans or whatever, but I'm not that I'm not that determined, I guess. I'm lazy. So I'm like, yeah, make these line drawings that would be what I would draw if I could draw, right? And I tell it what I want. And then I take those line drawings and I paint them, because I like painting, actually. I'm pretty good at that. So I'll paint them in, you know, on my iPad in Procreate or something. And they come out really beautiful. And it has like, you know, it's like more than 50% me, because before it was just a black and white line drawing. Then now I'm taking those line drawings and I'm putting them on watercolor paper and like physically painting them in, which is a totally different look, and adding gold leaf and all this cool stuff. So I'm able to make like, you know, like physical pieces of art that were generated from AI, which is kind of interesting. And I've seen a lot of people just doing, like I have a friend who's an amazing illustrator. She can draw anything, paint anything. She's incredible. And she like went down the AI rabbit hole so insanely that she created this beautiful collection of art that looks like nothing I've ever seen. And it's got her fingerprints all over it. Like when I look at it, I know that she made that, even though it's pure AI. Like she spent months and months and months and months training the AI on her aesthetic, her vibe, her whatever, and now she can create artwork really quickly. Well, it's not really quickly. She'll generate zillions of things and then pull out the ones that she likes, and she'll, you know, I don't know if she fixes some things up, if there's like, you know, the hands are still an issue with AI.
They're working on that.
The creepy fingers.
They're getting better, much better.
They're getting much better, but yeah.
I think there was a question over there.
Like, oh, sorry. There's a question.
Who's got a question?
Yeah, so I don't want to like distract too much from the AI art stuff, but kind of getting back to like general industry stuff. As someone who's kind of just started off in the 3D world, 3D industry, recently graduated, is kind of struggling getting, you know, initial work or even study work. What are some of the things you recommend as like early starting points?
Early starting points for work. So, do you do anything like dailies yet, or your own work, experiments, anything like that? Do your own? Well, I can relate this to AI actually, if you want. This is something that helped me just recently. I'm a technical artist. I am pretty decent at taking something from someone else, and they say, I want you to do something like this, and I can do it. But when I sit down in front of a blank slate, that's when I have a problem. So if I were trying to create some new stuff, get it out there, post some stuff on Instagram or something like that to try and get some followers and get some work and have something to show off, I would be trying to make stuff. And in the past, I used to not know what to make. And if I had an idea of something I wanted to make, it was tough. You were talking about the line drawings. It's a good starting point. For me, who has used Midjourney here or anything like it? Okay. For me, there was an invisible hurdle, which is I could never make anything based off of anything that anyone else had done because I felt like I was copying, no matter what it was. It's like, oh, I really like this camera shot in this thing. Well, I'd be copying that. Well, I love what they did with this shot composition. I'd like to use that shot composition somewhere. Now I'd be copying David Ariev because he already did a Dutch angle.
The number
or
of times I've copied David Ariev, you have no idea.
So all that to say,
nothing is original.
When I started doing prompts, it gave me the freedom to not feel like I was stealing from someone else, even though technically it's getting stuff from other people's work. But also, if I were creating something, I'd be screenshotting stuff anyway, putting a pure ref board together or something anyway. But I would say, I would actually ask, are you having any problems with like finding a subject of something to do, or for either a short or daily or something like that? To break into the industry. Yeah, so breaking into the industry, besides AI, or maybe AI, I don't know.
I can speak to this because I get obsessive with it. When I lived in Ohio, when I was just starting out, a long time ago, I won't say how long, I wanted to move to New York because I knew that would be my starting point when I could really work on stuff I wanted to work on. And my demo reel wasn't very good. I wanted to work on better things. I didn't really know how to get there. So the approach I took was sending out emails to every company that I could find in New York. And at that time, not as many companies were listed, so I was having to kind of dig for it. So over the course of probably a year, when I decided I wanted to do this, this is not a joke, I sent like 1,500 emails to different companies, and I probably got 10 responses. This is not an exaggeration. I got like 10.
Pre-chat GPTs.
Right, yeah. So I was going to town, and I would just tell the company I love their work. This is what I do. And then I just said, I'm coming to New York for a visit. I would love to talk. And again, I got like 2 people who would want to meet with me. And then I went to New York for a visit, talked to some people, went back to Ohio, and then never really heard from those people again. I was like, fuck, man, like, what am I doing? So I jumped in. I went to New York. I just did it. Didn't know what I was doing. And within like a couple of weeks, I found some work. And I just continued to build, continued to be an easy person to work with, be kind, be thankful. Even if a job seems like maybe not quite your thing, just be super thankful that they reached out to you, but just email constantly. And I will also say this, that right now in the freelance world, it's a little tough. I was getting a lot more emails like last year, but right now it's a little dry. So work that is coming in maybe isn't as good as what you would normally work on, but if it pays the bills, then it's good. 1 for the money, 2 for the show.
Do you go to meetups? Like EJ's meetups?
Yes. You're here right now. That's a start.
Yeah.
Do this, do the after party, do the after party,
right.
Really get to know people, because that's where a lot of work comes from too.
Yes.
Not necessarily just the stuff on your Instagram.
I'm a testament for that. I came to the 3D Motion Tour in 2019, and Matt and Dave threw that on, and it changed the trajectory of my career. Honestly, just reaching out to these guys. I mean, I think I emailed David Ariev like a month before that show. I was doing my first like 3D main project, and I was like, hey, I'd love your input on this, and what'd you think? And I was expecting like, I don't have time for this or no response at all. But same day, he's like, yeah, man, send your stuff over. I'll help you out. And I came to the tour and just met these guys and networked with them, and then it's blossomed into something beautiful now. So
this is a super cool community, by the way. I came in, just as the wife of David, like in the beginning, and for years actually until 2021. And like I've been to SIGGRAPH, NAB, Half Res, all the things. We do all these things every year. And I was like literally the only girl, first of all, in the room, like at all these events forever.
Sorry.
It's okay. I enjoy you guys. It's all good. I was super interested, though. I loved sitting there watching. I had no idea what C4D was, but I would sit down and I would watch the people doing all their demonstrations and stuff, and I was like, God, this is crazy. This software is incredible because it's kind of like I know Photoshop pretty well, and to me it's similar to Photoshop in that the artist is what makes it do stuff. Like the amount of different things and different styles and different whatevers you can accomplish with C4D is insane. And so all these different artists that you see up here have different things they specialize in. David's good at like lots of stuff. There's other people who just like focus on one thing, like animation or something. Our buddy Ryan Talbot's an incredible animator, and he's just like a storyteller, and he's got this insane eye for composition and color and light, and the way he does things, you can see his stuff and right away, Ryan did that. Ryan made that. And David's more like a chameleon where he can do all sorts of different things, and you're like, you're not 100% sure who did that, And so there's different ways you can go. So if there's something you're super inspired by, something that you love to do in C4D more than any other thing, like don't feel like I need to know 100% of C4D. I can just focus on this one little thing and take it all the way and be an expert in that, and then you can get work based on being an expert in that.
Unless you're Chris Schmidt, you will never know 100% of C4D.
Right, you won't. See, I know. I use I've been using Photoshop for 20 years or whatever, and I use like 5 cents of that program.
Yeah.
It works for what I do with it, but there's a million things I still have no idea what it can do. It can do way more than I know, and that's okay because there's always stuff to learn, which is cool. So yeah, I don't know. I follow what you love, like. When David and I got back together 7 years ago, he was very much doing like commercials and he had all this random weird work, and he expressed to me, I really love doing the 3D stuff. He was doing like editing, just all these different millions of jobs. And it was kind of like mentally chaotic, and he was really always excited. I just noticed like he would be excited when he was doing 3D stuff. So I'm like, why don't you just say no to those jobs you don't like to do? Just start saying no to them and see if 3D work lands on your plate. And it did, like massively. And then he was like, I really want to do like concert visuals. And then pretty soon he's like known for that. He's doing all these concert visuals for Katy Perry and Deadmau5 and whoever, Zed and whatever. So just like do the jobs that you want, like learn, focus in on what you would like to be paid for. Because if you don't, you're going to end up doing a bunch of stuff you don't love. And then you're going to hate your job.
Yeah, I mean, just go out. You're doing the best thing you can right now, which is already going out and networking with people and like meeting the community and doing all that. Like, and also just email people. It took one email for things to just go down this path. It took one email. That's crazy when you put it in perspective. That's how I met him, was through that one email.
That's how we met him, was through one email he sent us.
It was one email with one guy, and then
all
that
track
guy.
it back to one person somewhere, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I met these guys through them. I met him through this. All of
and
this.
it's all because of like meetups and getting to know people and community and I've the number of times I've been at like an NAB or a SIGGRAPH or a meetup like this, and someone's like, oh, let me show you this new project that I worked on, and they bring out their phone. It's like, oh, that's really good. Okay, I'm logging you in my brain so I know who I can use in my next project. And it's like.
Yeah, it's not even always that, too. I mean, you don't always have to talk about 3D all the time. I mean, we are here to talk about 3D because this is the design and animation tour. makes sense. But when you're out there, you don't have to talk about 3D. You can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, Rev and I nerd out about EDM
Half the
music.
people on this panel are in our Halo group chat.
Oh yeah, we play Halo together. Do you play Switch? I mean, I love Switch games. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Mario Kart. I will beat your ass in Mario Kart. I'll let you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Fighting words.
Yeah, it's fighting words, but
No, but your next job is coming from someone in this room. If
Yeah.
you're trying to go through Indeed and fill out resumes and do that, first you got to hack through the HR program that's already deleting you from keywords.
Yeah, good luck.
Gotta
But
add
if
your
you know
resume
somebody
even though
that
it's already
works at
attached.
that company, that's how you bypass that. That's how you get that resume in past the first step that you have to do. So I guarantee your next job is coming from somebody in this room, not from filling out resume after resume after resume.
Right. Because also, most of the jobs that you see online, they've already tapped their network. Be in the network first before it's even online. And don't chase trends. I definitely you want to figure out what you want to do and then go in that direction. Don't think you need to know the things that are being trendy now because they may not be trendy tomorrow.
yeah, just be a decent person. Just have fun with it. These guys are my friends first and foremost. Like we hang out and do stupid shit all the time. Play Halo.
We got stories.
Oh, we got stories, dude. It has nothing to do with 3D.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like more than likely, your friends are going to want to hire you too because they know, one, you know what you're doing, and then two, because they want to help out you because you're your friend.
It's funny. Cam was in our Halo group chat, and I didn't know any of his work, and then he must have posted something, and I was like, damn, he's pretty good. Hey, we could really use his help on this project. And now, 2 projects later, he's still helping out. Cam became my go-to.
Yeah, so if you take away anything from this tour today, it is the next segment where you talk to all of us.
Yes.
Where you talk amongst yourselves.
Yes.
Integrate with each other and find out what each other do. And, this is all community here.
You'd be surprised how welcoming this community is compared to we are.
It's a cult.
Scott and I were talking about this yesterday.
After this, we're all gonna drink some Kool-Aid. Don't worry about it.
You will meet people, you connect with them on a personal level, and then from there it just keeps going. And there's nobody up here or anywhere in any stage that you go in this community that you can't just approach and say, hey, I love your work, or hey, I would love to ask you a question.
And in between, you can do stuff like go to our Slack. We got 1,600 artists.
people. Yeah.
And you catch up with those people. Oh, yeah, I'm in the Slack. We'll just catch up on there, And then the other thing is, we also have a Discord.
Discord's great, yeah.
Discord's a big one.
Have them add you on there.
Yeah, and reach out for help too. If you're messing around with Cinema 4D, I always tell people this. I love nerding out and helping people out, troubleshooting ridiculous issues they may come across. So I'm always open for that. So hit me up that way too.
Our Discord, we barely do anything in the text
We're literally
channels.
just on video chat
all day, every day, and
making
we sit there.
weird noises.
We will sit there in the company of each other.
But
That's how it
also,
works.
If you're a newer artist, if you're fresh in this world, find some people you look up to that have more experience than you, and show them your work. Get it critiqued, because one good critique can level you up by a lot. Just one good critique on something that you've done. And any of these guys up here are willing to do that. There's so much to know about, from composition, lighting, camera movement, all that stuff. Just color theory. There's so many things to learn as an artist. And if you are stuck, you don't know what you're doing, you need help, you want fresh eyes on it, just don't be afraid to reach out to anyone that you respect as an artist and ask for that, hey, can you look at this and tell me, honestly, what needs improvement? What's working, what's not working in my piece?
That's how Rev got hooked up with people.
Yeah.
Just chatting with them on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Right? Or something?
No.
An email or something?
Yeah, it was an email, and then he was like, "Oh, this isn't shit. Let's talk."
And then he sent me an email.
No, he was
no. So it wasn't just that. No, it was so I had emailed him, and then he was like, "Oh, this isn't a question about C4D. Finally, let's figure this out." Because I'm pretty sure he gets turned off with people going, "How do I use a cloner? What's a subsurface thing?" Like he's tired. I'm pretty sure he's tired of that.
What render engine?
What render engine, bro? What the fuck? Like, yeah, no. But like,
and then he sent me a Facebook or an email or something too. He's like, bro, check out this kid, Rev, right here. Check out this kid. You should give him a job if you got a job or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then a couple years later, like we're hanging out playing Halo, and I'm like, oh wait, you're the same dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. It all comes full circle.
Yep.
Right. Networking.
And that's how it is. Like that's been half of my job is networking. Like,
yeah, it's not even so much networking as it is making friends, and then you want, like they're saying, you want to hire your friends, and there's this effect of also once someone's done a good job for you, you're much more likely to hire them because then they're trusted. So all of this in-person communication, face-to-face stuff, we can't stress the importance of that. At the same time, making a big splash online is important too. If you can create something compelling, like I've seen certain things, like not even demo reels. At one point, I saw someone who just had a very simple but slick, like 2D to 3D animation, and then said, available for hire. And it was just something that was very unique and like eye-catching, and that's enough to get a fuckload of people like knocking on your door.
And also, you could start with asking your friends and family that are not in the industry, because motion design is in every industry. So there are a million different ways
whether they realize it or not.
True. Say, I can animate your logo. It's
like work may seem like freelance may seem a bit dry right now, but if we think of the number of industries that need work from people like us, whether it's VR, NFTs, AR, Instagram filters, like billboards, whatever, there's like just a million applications and use, commercials, TV, movies. Like you can't, the future is just becoming more and more visual. So it's not as if any of us are going to be out of a job. We don't need to feel like we're competing with each other, because there should be more than enough work to go around.
Right. Yeah, especially
also,
nowadays.
There's only more screens.
And during the pandemic, I don't know about you guys, but like, I needed backups for my referrals because all of my referrals were working. Everyone, you want to know people, not just what that do what you do. You need to know the people that do what you can't do. So you're at least the person that people are coming to you for a job. And if you can't do it, you know who can, and for what the right
you
price.
say, I can do that. What's the rate? Okay, cool. Hey,
Here's
can
a
you do
friend.
it for this lower rate so I can make a little bit off the top?
Yes, exactly.
So I got a question about to you. Do you have like your favorite artists?
I'm sorry.
Because the reason I ask is because when I first started like going out and meeting people at these like meetups, I kind of saw myself as like a MoGraph groupie, and so I would go to all my favorite artists. Like if I knew that they were going to be at the specific conference, I would go specifically to go meet them, and I kind of just kept doing that, and eventually I actually became friends with a few of them. But it was almost like I was curating the people I wanted to work with, instead of just kind of like shooting a shotgun blast and see who bites, because I like connected to their art or whatever, and it also kind of helped kind of develop my interpersonal skills by being able to like go up to these strangers that don't know me, and like make a good impression on them, and eventually that kind of like got better the more I did it, and eventually it led to being more integrated with the community. So
we've only got a few more minutes. We'll take yours in a second. We only have a few more minutes, so if you have any questions, they're going to be kicking us out of this room and opening up the party room.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you have something you wanted to
I don't know. I was just going to say, like, take on any and all opportunities. Like, early on in my career, I took on, like, things that seemed like they weren't going to pay off, like 48-hour film contests. I did, like, 7 or 8 of the 8 of those. But then on those, I was working with, other like collaborators, and the director would see something I was doing. I'd be like, hey, look, there's a VFX shot I just did. And he's like, oh, I need that on my film or whatever, So you never know what opportunities will lead to more opportunity. Like open doors will lead to more open doors, or some kind of, expression like that. I think I just made that up. But, basically get immersed. Like, this is one way of getting immersed is, by being with your peers, making art with your peers, coming to conferences and whatnot. But it's also like, it's everything. It's the tutorials. It's the, I don't know, just in general, anything you want to learn quickly and get good at, you need to be immersed. Like I'm doing that lately with pinball, and it's like it started with buying a pinball machine, and then it's like, oh, now I need to go to all the different pinball places in Denver and Colorado, and then I'm gonna do tournaments. Oh, I'm gonna, like there's weird pinball house parties. There's a community here, so yeah, it does always lead to the community.
The underground pinball.
The underground.
Now he's on the
back alley
Nick Campbell
pinball
level.
deals. Yeah, not even joking. So yeah, I don't know. Immersion.
It's real shady.
Yes.
Any other questions before we do our wrap up and go to party mode? Any questions?
I wanna thank every single one of y'all for coming out.
Yes.
This is a really good turnout for us, and we're really happy that y'all decided to spend your Thursday?
What's today? Yeah.
Thursday.
Yes.
Your Thursday with us. So thank you so much.
So before we wrap it up, I would like to say that we have a lot more partying to do tonight, and so if there are questions, sometimes it's actually easier for us to answer very specific questions by either having a one-on-one or, again, with the networking stuff, we'll be like, oh, you know who really knows about that? This person over here. Come on, come over here. So we're going to do a bunch of that. And we're going to wrap up this segment. Matthias is going to close us out here in a second. You can come on up. We're going to get out of here, though. Make sure that you check us out online. Send us an email, info@mograph.com. And, if you want to join our Slack or anything, just shoot us an email. We can add you. You can come hang out in the Discord while we all hang out, keep each other company. Check us out at mograph.com, mograph.com/classes. You can check out the classes. And mograph.com/TV is our 24/7 animation channel. It's live all the time, so check that out. But,
we also have some T-shirts.
That's it. T-shirts, whatever. But we appreciate everybody coming. If you're watching online, make sure that you check us out on the DAT tour. It's gotodat.com. GoToDAT.com is the web address. And if you're watching live, make sure you look us up and see if we're going to be in your area, because there's a lot more to the show besides just this portion of the stream. So check that out, and we'll see you live. And I think that about wraps it up, though. Until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And this was DAT.
All right. Great job, everyone. Well, the good news is we do have some big giveaways, and we'll announce that at the party room. So we'll be giving away a full license of Maxon 1 for a year. So it's big money, big money. So for everybody who left, I'm sorry. For everybody who's still tuning in, thank you so much. And once again, thanks to all of our sponsors from Dell, NVIDIA, Render, Tool Farm, making this all possible. And our entire creative family. And that's one of the big things that I can't emphasize enough is, yes, you are networking, you're making friends, that's a big thing, but really, relationship is everything. Because you can have technology doing so much for you, but if you don't have those good human relationships, quality of life goes really down. You can spend a lot of time behind the screen. And that's one of the things that was big for us getting out and going everywhere, and why people are flying in, is to get this feeling. So open up. We're pretty nice people overall. I know it's funny because we're like...
Some of us.
Okay. Everybody but Matt's a nice... No, So everybody's really nice, and otherwise they usually don't come out. That's one of the things, is over time you see people just kind of fade to the background, and we look out for each other, and you build a reputation. So that reputation of everybody up here, everybody has either shared with the community, has uplifted somebody else, and that's a really big thing that I have been personally priding myself on for the last 14 years and putting my energy in, because I don't think there's any other community like this on the planet. The cool thing is you go around and you go to any of the different states, even overseas, there's a different feel, because it's almost like a bunch of introverts get to be extroverted. It's very weird. We get to be very excited about things that everybody else is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So enjoy that. Enjoy the evening. We'll see you right next door. And thanks again, everybody, for making it out on this beautiful rainy day. Thank you. That was fun.